What's up, guys? We're gonna do a radiator relocate on the 520. So just got it in just a minute ago. Been doing some little maintenance on it before we go riding this weekend. We're gonna unbox this, see what's all in here. It's just a wild bore, a little cheaper than high lifter, so this is the one I went with, and it doesn't look any worse or any better. So, and I didn't really want to go to a N2D relocate because they're ridiculous and you can't fit your fan in there. It's just for strictly water riding. So I kind of decided to go with this wild boar. Let me move my lunch table out the way over here. We got some more coolant. Don't really feel like reusing it. It won't hurt to flush it out anyway. So hardware, connectors, clamps, instructions, extra hose, extra vent line, spacers that go behind so it bolts at the top of the radiator, and we don't really care about extra paper. One of the side plates, I'm going to assume it's be the left side if you're sitting on the four-wheeler. Why is this thing upside down? I don't understand. Oh well. Hopefully none of this video is upside down, because the screen on my GoPro is showing that it's upside down. So I'm just gonna do it like this. Here's the other side. Gas paper, don't need that. And the last piece. Sorry guys, I'm gonna do this one-handed. Which will be, I can get it up the right way, which will be the face plate. So, we're gonna get into flushing the old system out, put the new one in. See if I can get a flashlight real quick. I've already taken this side off because I had to clean my radiator out the weekend from it being stopped up. The number one reason why I got this. So them plates over here in a pile somewhere. Anyway, they're not too important, but it's just these little side plates right here. I tore it off this side already. As you can see, straight into the radiator. This is hanging, so we're gonna flush that, drain everything, pull the radiator out. Then I'm gonna take it outside and clean it out, get the rest of the mud out of the radiator before I move it up here. And then let's see, we'll just do it like that. I'm gonna end up setting y'all up on the time lapse. I gotta go get my other light, so I'm gonna set y'all on a time lapse of me tearing this thing out. And once I get my light, I'll come back and show you where screws are. There's 2 screws up top, 2 rubber grommets in the bottom. You got to pull this hose down here. Can't really see it all that well probably, but there's a hose down here. Pull it off, drain the coolant out. And then there's a vent line you pull off. You got to unplug the fan, unbolt the 2 bolts at the top, and then you can start moving it up top. But I'll go get my light and then I'll be right back with you. Alright, got the radiator out. A little bit of a pain. Let's see. There's a computer right here, also, another one. So that's gonna have to be cleaned. I'm gonna take it apart and dielectric grease the plugs. Then, let's see here. There's 2 screws, which will be right here. And on the other side, it'll be right there. You gotta pull them out of the 10mm. Then drain it, flathead, undo the fitting, pull it off, let it drain into whatever you have. And then the top one on the other side, do the same thing. Oh, and on this plastic piece right here, this is what holds the computer in place right here. It sits in here just like that. And this sits on this like this. Let's see if I can get this right actually. Yeah, so it sits in there just like that. And this piece sits on here just like that. Just like that right there. And the headlight sits right here. So you're gonna have to finagle to get to this little plastic pop pin. I hate these things. I know everybody else does. I need to figure something out different. But you'll get that out, and then you're just gonna find somewhere. I'm gonna try to mount mine up here, up high, and out of the way. That way I don't have to, you know, deal with it getting muddy and greasy and what else ever. Keep it up out of the mud because it's pretty caked up right now, if you can't tell. So I'm gonna have to clean the mud off of it, get the connectors apart, and dielectric grease them, and redo them. So let's see. And then there's a couple pop pins on this side. To get to the top hose, the coolant hose that comes out, you're gonna have to pull this piece right here off and undo the screw on it. And it's a pain in the you know what to undo. And then you got your connector, which is gonna be pinned into the side of the radiator fan right here. There'll be a little pin right here, which you can see is on this clip. Just take a pair of pliers, pop it out, then you can work with it a lot better and get it off a lot easier. But you can see how stopped up and gummed up this thing is. So I'm gonna go wash this out, and I'll be back with you, and we'll start putting it on and then refilling it. All right, update, got all the stuff out. So now we're gonna put the sides on, which will go just like so. And I'm out over these 2 bars right here. That one, and then the other one that's over there. Then you need your 4 U-bolts, and then 8 nuts, lock nuts, and then 8 washers for this part. I'll go ahead and get this other piece over here. And then I reckon I'm gonna set y'all back up on the time lapse and then show y'all what it looks like when I'm done. And then we'll do it like that. Update. Got the main side construction put together. It's not tightened down yet, but got the U-bolts in. They're snug, but they're not tight. That way I can adjust it and make it even on both sides. Which is as right now it sits like that. I just put the carriage heads in. I haven't put anything on them yet. Just put them in. That way I can go ahead and use this as a template to go ahead and get it square, even, and then tighten down the carriage. Then I'll pull the bolts back out and start putting the radiator in. Don't forget to put this factory grommets back in from where you pulled your radiator out. The bottom sitting in these grommets. Don't forget to pull them out of the factory spot and then put them in the bottom of the radiator, wherever your radiator sits. Then that's about it. They're gonna be, let's see, there's 2 holes here, and then 2 holes here, and then 2 here, which if I'm not mistaken, the spacers go from this hole over. I'm gonna look at the instructions and then I'll get back with y'all and put you back on time lapse until I finish putting that part together. I gotta tighten down the bolts on the U-bolts, or the nuts on the U-bolts, and then that'll be it for right. So got front plate bolted on, tightened down. These U-bolts right here, this bolt you're going to have to do with a wrench, which is pretty aggravating because you can't get a socket in there due to being over this bar right here. Then let's see, get the light. Then the bolt with the 3.5 inch spacer, I believe, goes right here. Put that in, put a washer on, then put the bolt on the washer, then put this through, put the spacer on, and then sink it into this right here. And then make sure you put your grommets in, and then set the bottom of the radiator with the fan on inside the little rubber grommets down here. And then now we're gonna start running all the new lines, which this right here is gonna go back down in here. Well, actually this goes to the overfill. We're gonna put this back on the overfill. The overfill is gonna mount right here. So we're gonna mount that up, put the hose back on it, which I believe is what they gave us this clear hose for, unless they gave this to us. Yeah, that's gotta be what that's for. I hadn't really fully read the instructions yet. Then we're gonna take our, let's see, our main hose, put it on here, and then put a piece down in the bottom, rerun it down here, see how much we need, cut it off, and then we'll splice those together with these right here, and then put our fittings on it right here, and then here, and then here. I don't know why it gave us these 2, I guess in case we lost one. But and this is the bolts to mount the bottle up with, whatever I did with that, which is right here. If I'm not mistaken though, they're supposed to send us a new bottle instead of this ugly contraption. But I didn't get a new bottle, so we're just gonna have to make do with what we got until I can get a different one, I reckon. So that'll be that for right now. And then I'll put you back on time lapse and then see. Well, you know what? I'll just get back with you because we're gonna have a couple time lapses in here, and I don't want to get carried away with it. And B2 got our factory plug back in. It was just long enough to reach. They sent wire to splice back in, but I kindly didn't want to do that, so I was able to make it work. So I'll get back with you after I cut the hose and all that. All right, so all finished pretty much. I just gotta add coolant back to it, but everything's in. Couple tips, and I used the factory hose for the fan, which I've still got to replug in my vent line for the fan motor, but I've already redone all my vent lines on this because of the snorkel, and I had the factory vent line from the fan originally, not to this one, and I took it and used it, and I left my reservoir in the stock location, but you can't really use the pop pins anymore because the shrouding right here is gone. So I just took 2 zip tied from here to the old location of the plate that used to sit right here, the plastic plate, and then ran another zip tie down here, and you can still use the top factory pin location, so that'll hold the top in, but I mean it's not going anywhere. Still gotta clip the little whiskers here on both of these, and then this pretty much be done. I've got the line ran to the bottom of the reservoir, and then I can still continue to use my original vent line for the reservoir. And then let's see, I'll show you the hoses and a little tip I had to use to get those. The upper, I didn't get to get the little coupling all the way in there, but I got it in enough to get a clamp on it. Oh, let's see here if I can find it. So this is the original where you put them together, and this is a little plastic piece. It's about 2.5 to 3 inches long. And just take some WD-40, spray it on them little plastic pieces, and you'll be able to get them all the way in there to where both the hoses meet up like they're supposed to, just like that. See if you can't see. Oh, if I can get the light right. See, that's the upper right there. And you can see how I didn't get the hose. There's still a little bit of a gap in there. A little plastic gap right there. And that's where I wasn't able to, yeah, right there, sorry. That's where I wasn't able to get that bottom side all the way down, but I got enough down of it to get a clamp on it. And then the factory clip, then the underside down there is in, which that's kind of a pain to get in. Then the upper, then this. Still gotta run the vent line that goes to right here, yeah, right there. Still gotta run that vent line and then fill it with coolant, and then it'll be complete then. So we're just gonna let that be it. I'm gonna tidy up some stuff. I redid my box because when I siliconed it the first time, it didn't completely seal. So we're gonna redo that. Added a little bit of ultra gray. My light bar stopped working, so I'm trying to get it warrantied. And then I may sell it when I get it back and get a gator, just because I'm kind of upset with it. Hadn't really been submerged or anything like that. Got new grips. They're race grips, torque ones. So don't have to worry about glue coming undone. And that should be about it. I'm gonna close it out right here and try to get one final look at it with the relocate on it. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. Now I just gotta get some touch-up paint to get where all these speakers have rubbed all the paint off the racks, and then I'm gonna get a light bar, I believe, and put it from here to here. And then if I can get my speaker back, it'll go up here on the top, and then it'll be like I want it then, pretty much, until I can get some bigger tires and a gear reduction. And then if I can get a bigger tires and a gear reduction, it'll be sitting just like I want it. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna let that be it. Subscribe, like, comment. I'm going to Funny Farms this Saturday, which this probably won't be uploaded tonight. It may be, but if it's uploaded tonight, you'll be watching it tomorrow or whatever, whenever. We're going Saturday for backyard mud bog, a fest at Funny Farms in Rochelle, Georgia. You can look it up if y'all want to come out, ride. We'll be there Saturday. But all right, y'all, see you. I'm gonna don't worry about that. I'm gonna add this into the video. Right here, if you look down in here, there's two little screw holes right here and here. And this little connector right there, it's your bank angle sensor. If you're riding in water, this is gonna cause your four-wheeler to shut off. So you wanna unconnect that, take this and get this connector off of it, and then fill the inside of it with silicone to hold that piece together. That way when you do a water wheelie, or you go off in a hole sideways, the four-wheeler won't shut off. So we're just gonna take regular old silicone that I've been using all day right here. You can use this clear RTV, or you can get ultra gray, you know, whatever your preferred silicone is, and get it to where it holds this little magnetic roll sensor in place. It sits down in here. I took it out. I'm gonna fill this with silicone, but it sits right in here. You just want to do that and then plug it back in. Don't unplug it and leave it unplugged, because it's going to cause your ATV to throw a code, a check engine light code for the bank roll sensor, of course. But just wanted to add that in though.